Hi, everybody. I am Donna Quach, and I am an Army veteran, also an Asian American immigrant. My parents, would say in 1977, or roughly around there, they immigrated from Vietnam to America. Now, their journey wasn't easy at all by far. I was such a baby that I didn't really know a lot of what was going on. But what I was told with my parents was that they had to leave Vietnam. It was after the Vietnam War, and the country was turning into a communist country. And so they didn't have a lot of freedom there, and the education for my siblings and I was not a good thing. And so they decided to give us a better future and decided to leave everything they know of and all the things they built from and leave it all behind to give us a brighter future. Now, the process of them immigrating from Vietnam to America wasn't an easy thing. I was too young to know what was going on, but I was told that on many days the pirates would come to their ship and would rob them, and even at times even kill them too. So the experience alone of the immigration piece was very scary, and until this day my parents are still traumatized from it. When they got to America, we were taken in by the Mormon church. There was sponsors there for us, and we also had cousins and family members that was already out here already. And my parents got settled, and we lived in the projects. We were poor. We didn't have a lot, but one of the things I remember is that we had each other. That was something until this day. Family is really important to me. My parents taught us the importance of a family, of how to stay connected, and making sure that we trust each other and we loved each other. Some of the issue with having immigrant family were just being really accommodating, to our education, to our group of friends, because it was totally a different culture for my parents. I remember when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and our school was having somewhat of a mandatory parent-teacher conference, so I had to bring my parents, and I knew that it would be really difficult for them. So I offered to translate. But what was difficult for me was that my parents didn't have that ability or knew my who my friends were, knew what subject I was good in or what subject I was struggling in, because most of the translation was just through me. So that was one of several difficulties of having immigrant immigrant parents. I think also the socialization piece in our culture, we're really not allowed to have any sleepovers or to go out with friends, and we really need to focus on school. And when it came time to being with my friends, the answer was always no. And, mainly because my parents couldn't, you know, communicate with my American friends. And so that was also very difficult. I always envied my parents, uh, my friends' parents more so, I would say, because they had such a close relationship with their kids. They were very involved. I was dancing when I was probably, going into middle school, high school, and my parents, because they worked so much to make ends meet, they were never able to attend any of my dance competition. And that was another issue growing up. I never felt like my parents was involved, because it's not because they didn't want to, but because they had to work so much to put food on the table for us. But as I got older, I realized, even though the things that I wanted as a kid I didn't have, I always have that foundation of that family unit right there. My parents instilled a lot in us about gratitude and making sure that we're grateful for the things we have. And we didn't have a lot. My parents, again, being immigrants, no English, they had nothing, zilch, no money. My mom worked 3 jobs. Um, I learned through the lens of my parents, especially with my mom, of being a hard worker. My mom had 3 jobs and she done it with pride, pretty much. She I went with her. My mom was a housekeeper, and I remember as a young kid, going with my mom to help her clean people's house. And I thought that was the funnest thing in the world. My mom also worked as an assembly worker because that was the only job she could get because she didn't know how to speak English. Also, her third job was, babysitting to get extra money too as well, because again, that was the only way that she could find to support her the family. My dad also went back to school and he became a social worker. And probably around in middle school, maybe even younger than that, I went to a lot of different jobs with my dad. My dad would work with refugees, giving out blankets, working with homeless, working with psychiatric individuals in psych wards. He was a linguistic and he spoke 5 different Asian languages. So I always thought it was so fascinating. And through the lens of his eyes, I learned the importance of giving back and helping others. As I got older, moving into high school, I did really well because that education was focused, and then also into college years. And I knew that I wanted to be able to be like my dad, and be able to help others. So I majored in psychology and with a minor in business, and I became and went on to get my master's degree as a psychotherapist with a specialty in trauma. After I graduated and became licensed, I opened up my own private practice in 2009. And until this day is one of the most successful private practice there is. I see children, I see families. I wouldn't say recently, but in 2018 we opened up a nonprofit that would allow us to give to marginalized children and families, women who have been victims of crime. We also help children around the world. We work with a project called Precious for a Foundation, and we work with the sick kids in Uganda, providing whatever medical or mental health support we can provide for them. I guess the important thing that I want you as viewers to understand in being a child with immigrant parents is, even though there were things that I was missing and lacking that I needed from my parents, there was other things that I learned. I learned to always be grateful and always be appreciative of the things that I have and never ever to forget where I came from. The second thing is always to be open to helping others, making sure that you have empathy and that you can help others. My dad always told me that regardless of whatever your skills set is, you can always help. You can always make an impact in the world. I also learned when I graduated and got my master's and got my private practice, I joined the military. And the reason why I joined the military is because I felt something was missing. I joined the military, and there I also learned structure. I learned, to even appreciate more of the things I do have rather than always focusing on the things I don't have. It gave me a sense of morale. It helped me to build structure and identity and being able to be a leader. And I, I, I've never regretted that. I've made some wonderful friends. I created a big family unit from the military in the 10 years that I served. I got out of the military in 2020 already. So, but I still help a lot of veterans. I take in a lot of veterans within my private practice and also my charity to make sure that our nation's heroes are taken care of. We work a lot with refugees. We work a lot with marginalized children. With UNICEF and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So the important thing is making sure that you are grateful, you stay positive, make sure that you get whatever education you can to advance yourself in life so that you don't have to, um, work for anybody. You're not forced to take a job to pay the bills. You get to decide what is best for you. I want to leave you with just, again, just make sure you love yourself. Never, 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 never forget who you are. That is so important. And really looking forward and always trying to move forward in life. And make sure as though that if you ever need help, it's okay to also ask for help too. I think it's so important. It's a sign of your own internal strength. So this is kind of closing for me. Thank you again. And, I am so proud to be Asian American. I'm proud to have parents who are immigrants because I learned such a great deal from them. And so should you too as well. Take what you can learn and really progress in life. All right. Thank you. And hopefully maybe one day I can see you in person. But for the most part, thank you and good luck in life.